gut feeling about this? What is your gut feeling? You might have used or heard this phrase several times, right? A sixth sense, a hunch, or gut feeling. Whatever you choose to call it, the sudden flash of insight from deep within can inspire plenty of faith. Following your instinct can certainly direct you towards the best path for you. And yet, you might wonder whether you should put so much trust in a feeling and instinct you can't explain. Where do these gut feelings come from? The gut feelings often seem to come out of nowhere. They aren't random. They don't actually originate from your gut either. The gut-brain connection makes it possible for emotional experiences to register as gastrointestinal distress. When you feel anxious, fearful, or certain that something's wrong, you might experience stomach twinges, pain, or nausea. That's where the name gut feeling comes from. There is a strong connection between the gut and the brain. And it's a proven fact that your emotional state of mind affects your gut and vice versa. Did you know that our gut is known as the second brain? In today's episode, we will talk more about what is gut health, link between gut health and immunity, fatigue, mental health, mood changes, depression, stress, and cancer. Hi, I'm Avanti Deshpande, gut health nutritionist, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and a fit mom. Welcome to my podcast, Eat Smart with Avanti, reconnecting you back to the Indian roots. Let me take you back to the school days, about 6th or the 7th grade, where we studied the GI system, that is, gastrointestinal tract or system. याद है? Mouth, stomach, liver, pancreas, intestine, colon, etc. और GI tract का काम क्या है ये याद है? हाँ, correct. It is responsible for the digestion of food in the body. But जब gut health के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो it's not just the GI digestion. We refer to the millions of microorganisms that live inside the digestive tract, and mainly the large intestine. These microorganisms are also referred to as the gut flora or microbiome in technical terms. जैसे हमारे हिंदी ब्लॉकबस्टर मूवी में एक हीरो होता है और एक विलन जैसे होता है, ठीक वैसे ही कुछ बैक्टीरिया है हेल्पफुल वंस जो है हमारे हीरो. It will help us to fight infections. They will manufacture some nutrients in the body, keep away the inflammation, and also prevent us from diseases like diabetes, PCOS, hypothyroidism, etc. And some others are harmful, जो है villain, जिसका नाम है pathogens. And they will cause problems like infections, inflammation, allergies, and some disorders like diabetes, high cholesterol, IBS, etc. Unhealthy gut के symptoms क्या है वो अभी देखते हैं. Upset stomach या फिर stomach pain, sugar cravings, unintentional weight changes, unusual sleep cycles, food intolerances, fatigue, bloating, gases, acid reflux, nausea, autoimmune diseases, food intolerances, food allergies, skin irritation या फिर metabolic disorders. अब देखते हैं हमारी ब्लॉकबस्टर हिंदी मूवी के हीरो की हेल्प करने के लिए सपोर्टिंग स्टार्स क्या करते हैं. मतलब, here are 10 tips to improve your gut health. Tip number 1, keep a variety in the foods that you eat. A balanced diet is the one that includes all the food groups, like fiber, vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables, protein from protein-rich foods like dal, curd, nut and seeds, complex carbohydrates from chapati, millets or rice, and good fats from seeds, fatty fish, ghee and coconut oil. If the food has a variety, it will help us to have diverse microbiome, which is an indicator of a good gut health. Tip number 2, eat fermented foods. Fermented food like curd contain natural live good bacteria which will help to increase the load of the existing one and help it to multiply. If you feel that it's very difficult for you to digest curd, we suggest that you could dilute it and then you can make a buttermilk and have that. We were discussing the diet recall of Mrs. Reddy in the second meeting at my clinic. I asked her, Mrs. Reddy, are you having a glass of buttermilk in the diet as prescribed? Mrs. Reddy replies, instead of buttermilk, I have idli for breakfast every day. That is fermented too, right? I went ahead and explained it to her. Mrs. Reddy, idli is a fermented food, but will not give you the load of live bacteria to improve the gut health, because we cook idli before consumption, and the heat of cooking will destroy the live bacteria. Many people have a similar thought process like Mrs. Reddy, where they feel idli, dosa, dhokla are all fermented foods. But once you cook any food, you will lose the live culture. So, remember, the food has to be minimally processed before consumption. Have you ever seen or studied the pattern of eating in Japanese and Korean culture? A lot of studies have been done to see why these people are lean. It's the food culture. Most of the Japanese and Korean cooking has cooking at low temperatures, and often most of the food is either steamed or it is consumed raw. One more highlight is the use of fermented vegetables as a side dish, along with the meals. These include sauerkraut, kimchi, pickled cucumbers or carrots, tempeh, and miso paste. These fermented vegetables act as a source of probiotics and improve the good bacteria. Even our age-old Indian culture used to prepare dishes like beetroot kanji, fermented rice, and that was a tradition. And that would naturally improve the gut health. Food fermentation is an emerging field and has a great potential in the future. Tip number 3, limit the intake of artificial sweeteners. Yes, that's true. Artificial sweeteners have a negative impact on the gut microbiome. Some evidences has shown that artificial sweeteners like aspartame increase the blood sugar by stimulating the growth of unhealthy bacteria like Enterobacteriaceae in the gut microbiome. So if you're a diabetic, want to lose weight, or just follow mindful eating practices and consuming artificial sweeteners, please stop using it immediately. It's best to also totally restrict white sugar, but if you wish, you could consume healthier options like jaggery or honey. Tip number 4 to improve the gut health is eat prebiotic foods. Prebiotics are a type of fiber that stimulate the growth of healthy bacteria. As prebiotics are non-digestible, they undergo fermentation by the gut microorganisms. And these are the benefits. The fermentation process produces short-chain fatty acids, and it promotes the growth of beneficial bacteria like lactobacilli, bifidobacterium in the gut by feeding on them. Prebiotics also improve the bowel movements and they treat constipation. This supports the reduction of the gut pH that help in decreasing inflammation and controls the serum lipid and the blood glucose levels. It also favors the absorption of calcium and magnesium by eliminating the pathogen and reduces the risk of colon cancer. अब देखते हैं प्रीबायोटिक्स कौन से फूड में होते हैं. Prebiotics have fiber and they are present in whole grains. Fiber is fruits and vegetables. So make it a point to have whole grain based diet. Matlab include rolled oats, millets, whole wheat as well as rice in the diet. And also include 5 serves of fruits and vegetables in the diet. Tip number 5, limit the use of foods high in fructose. When I was studying a course in FODMAP diets by Monash University, this is meant for IBS patients specifically. It turns out that some healthy foods like apples, pears and dried fruits are naturally high in fructose, which when ingested by few can trigger some of the side effects like undigested lactose. Fruits lower in fructose such as berries, citrus fruits and bananas may be a better choice for people with IBS or having gut issues. High fructose corn syrup is the main ingredient in processed food, commercially prepared sweets, snacks, and soft drinks. And these items can also aggravate IBS symptoms. But this does not hold true for all. Some people might not be able to tolerate high fructose than the others, and this could aggravate gut issues. So if you experience any of the above mentioned issues, you could keep a close check if these problems worsen the moment you're consuming certain fruits or then having foods rich in high fructose corn syrup. Tip number 6, and this is specifically meant for breastfeeding mothers or if you know anybody around who has just had a newborn. Breastfeeding for at least 6 months improves the gut health of the infant. Breastfeeding is very important for the development of the gut microbiome. Children who are breastfed for at least 6 months have some beneficial bifidobacteria than those who are bottle fed. Tip number 7, increase the consumption of probiotics. A few minutes back, we discussed the term prebiotic, and now you're going to speak about probiotics. Both of these terms are very confusing. So let me try to simplify it for you. Probiotics are live bacteria which will help restore the gut to a healthy state after dysbiosis. और जैसे we need food to grow, the microorganisms also need food to survive and multiply. So the prebiotics in the food will help these microorganisms to grow and to multiply. Hope you got it. Curd or buttermilk in the diet is the best source of probiotic. Apart from that, a lot of fermented foods are gaining popularity, like kefir milk, kombucha tea, sauerkraut, kimchi, etc. Make it a point to include these probiotics daily in the diet. Tip number 8, and this is very important, please listen to it carefully. Take antibiotics only when it is necessary. कुछ दिन पहले मैंने टीवी पे एक डॉक्टर का शो देखा था, in which the doctor mentioned the people are self-medicating themselves. Even antibiotics are available in surplus. Antibiotics are to be used only with doctor's recommendation, and here's why. The antibiotics will kill the load of good bacteria. And secondly, next time you develop the same infection, the pathogen becomes more strong, which will be resistant to the antibiotics given. So then you will need a stronger dose. And this in turn is going to affect your gut further. So make it a point to allow your body's immune system to fight the infection and take antibiotics only when it is required. Tip number 9, increase the consumption of plant-based foods. Vegetarian diets may help to reduce the disease-causing bacteria like E. coli as well as inflammation and cholesterol. It's always better to have a good balance between a plant-based as well as the routine diet which includes non-vegetarian. Here I'm not asking you to turn vegan. I'm just asking you to increase the consumption of plant-based foods more in the diet. This means that you increase the whole grains, fruits and the vegetables and good fats in the diet. You need not follow a restrictive diet, but you have an all-inclusive diet where the plant-based foods are more than the others. Tip number 10, eat foods that are rich in polyphenols. Polyphenols are the plant compounds found in red wine, green tea, dark chocolate, olive oil, and whole grains. They are broken down by the microbiome to stimulate healthy bacterial growth. The beautiful color of the fruits and the vegetables is also owing to the polyphenols. So the purple color of the jamun fruit, or the red color of the cherry fruit, or the yellow color of mango is all attributed to the polyphenols that are present in them. So as a nutritionist, I would ask you to eat by the color. Eat as many colored fruits and vegetables in the diet as possible. Apart from these 10 tips, you might wonder, what about the restriction of gluten, that is wheat, or lactose, that is milk? Not all people are intolerant to these, and it makes sense to really identify it and then eliminate it, and that too for a short duration of time. Try to follow these 10 tips And if you want to have a personalized advice, you can sign up for a 8 weeks gut healing program where we help you to identify the triggers, eliminate it, and reintroduce them back into the diet along with healing your gut. Do write in to us at avantideshpande.com if you have any more queries. Do not forget to follow our podcast, Eat Smart with Avanti, for more interesting topics on health and nutrition. Have you subscribed to the YouTube channel yet? Nutritionist Avanti Deshpande. Please subscribe if you haven't. और क्विक हेल्थ टिप्स एंड रेसिपीज के लिए इंस्टाग्राम हैंडल है nutritionist.avanti. Stay tuned until next week. New episode coming up every week.